Hi, welcome to Rock and Metal Invasion. My name is Steve. On today's episode, a review of Ozzy's new song, Patient Number 9, and I'm going to count down my top 10 Ozzy Osbourne songs. In no particular order, just my 10 favourite Ozzy songs. As you may be aware, Ozzy has just released a new single, Patient Number 9. It's going to be the first single from his new album, which is coming out, I think it's been announced around September 19, something like that. So in a couple months, there's going to be another new Ozzy Osbourne album, another solo album, which is a bit surprising because I think a lot of people might have thought his last album, Ordinary Man, which I think was his 12th studio album, was going to be the last one. But he is still putting out some more content, and I have to say, I'm really excited having heard the first single. Now, Ordinary Man, to be honest with you, sounded a little bit ordinary to me. It sounded a little bit tired. Don't get me wrong, Ozzy never disappoints me. One of those few artists who has been putting out consistently good to excellent albums ever since his debut in the early 80s. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not complaining even about the last album, but for me, it's my least favourite Ozzy album. I think one of the things about that last album that didn't appeal to me quite so much, there were just a few more slower songs than what there normally would be, I think, on an Ozzy album, and the rockers weren't quite as strong as some of the more rocking songs on previous albums. So I wasn't expecting too much from the new single, but it is the best Ozzy song I've heard for quite some time. Jeff Beck, of course, on guitar. It's got a nice little riff going through it. Ozzy sounds great. I know some people have talked about, auto-tune and things like that. Well, it's either auto-tune or you get what you're going to get, and I think I'll take auto-tune. So, for me, no problem. I loved it. There's two different versions of it. There's a shorter version of it that I think you get when you watch the music video, and it's a great music video, really great. I thought it was a cool music video. And then the normal length of the song's about 7 minutes. So I think the music video is more about nearly 5 minutes, but the actual song itself is a good 7-minute song. But it doesn't seem too long. It seems, it's just a great song. I enjoyed the whole 7 minutes of it when I heard it, and I'm liking it more and more the more I hear it. So like I say, I'm really positive about the first single. He's got a lot of the same guys on this new album that were on the previous album. So same production people, same band. Chances are it may sound quite similar to Ordinary Man, but there was no song like Patient Number 9, I don't think, or at least of that quality, on Ordinary Man. So it's a great start for the new album. So we'll just have to wait and see if he can maintain that quality throughout the rest of the album when it is released in September. So yeah, that was a really nice surprise. Like I said, I love the video too. I thought that was really cool. All right, so Patient Number 9. Still though, however, as much as I like it, wouldn't make my top 10 Ozzy songs. Like I said, I'm a big Ozzy fan. He's always delivered for me, I think, pretty consistently over such a long period of time. Of course, don't forget as well, prior to being a solo artist, all the legendary songs he did with Black Sabbath. So, I mean, you talk about one of the greatest in heavy metal of all time, you've got to be talking about Ozzy Osbourne. So, he is a true legend, and the fact that he's still putting out songs, putting out albums now is just unbelievable. Especially too when you think about some of the lifestyle choices, some of the way he's lived his life. But he's hanging in there, and that is great. So, so it's really hard to cut it down to 10 because there's so many great songs that aren't going to be in my top 10 that I still really like. Interestingly enough, from my top 10 songs, I didn't limit myself to only one song from an album. So potentially, there could be, my top 10 could all be from one album. It's not. So the top 10 actually comes from 5 albums. Okay, so 5 studio albums, like I said before. His last album was his 12th. The one coming up this year is going to be his 13th studio album. But for his top 10 songs that I've chosen, they've actually they're just going to come from 5 albums.
Alright, now they're in no particular order, because like I said when I did my top 10 ballads, I find it really difficult to sort of say one song is better than another song. So I'm just going to give you my top 10 in no particular order, although the order I am going to do it in, I'm going to do it in the order of most recent to oldest. Okay, so my number 10, and this is the newest Ozzy song that makes my top 10, but it's not that new. And it's from the album Down to Earth. I don't have this one on vinyl. I'd love to have it on vinyl, but and the song is That I Never Had. Awesome Zakk Wylde riff. I mean, Zakk Wylde, you know, I love the stuff he's done with Black Label Society, but also with Ozzy. He's been fantastic, and been on the most Ozzy albums as the guitar player. And he does feature, Zakk does feature a little bit on the top 10. This is the first one that features Zakk. And yeah, That I Never Had is number 10 from the album Down to Earth. And that was 2001, I think. So, again, not that I haven't liked anything he's released since 2001. It just wasn't good enough to make the top 10. Alright, and then to number 9, we're going to go all the way to, believe it or not, no tracks from No More Tears make my top 10, or Osmosis. I'm going to go to No Rest for the Wicked for number 9, and Breaking All the Rules. A very underrated track, I feel. Breaking All the Rules. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Shot in the Dark. Great riff. It's not a super heavy Ozzy song, but still rocks pretty hard. Yeah, I just always really love that song, and like I said, I think it's a little bit underrated. I don't hear people talk about it too much. I think it's awesome. This is one of my favourite Ozzy albums. Of course, it's the debut for Zakk Wylde on guitar, and he sounds amazing on this. So that's number 9. Number 8 is also from this album, and that is Miracle Man. So Miracle Man, talking about Zakk Wylde again, just cutting loose on the guitar there. Great killer riff. I like the chorus with the Miracle Man, the way they've done the vocals there with that sort of effects. I think it sounds really cool. And yeah, like I said, Zakk just sounds awesome. This is a real solid album. I love the guitar playing from Zakk on this album. And, you know, when I heard Miracle Man, that was the first time I'd heard Zakk Wylde, of course. And this was his debut record for Ozzy. And it was a great introduction, that opening track. I think this was the first single from the album, Miracle Man, and a great way to open up the album. So that's going to be my number 8. Number 7, I talked about this song just before, Shot in the Dark from Ultimate Sin. That's going to be track number 7. We're talking J.K. Lee on guitar now. Awesome cover art. Always love this cover art. Yeah, Shot in the Dark was a single. Originally, I think Phil Susan, who was the bass guitar player, brought this song to Ozzy, and he had previously written that song for his previous band. I think this band was called Wildlife, something like that. And he had written that song with his previous band, and yeah, Ozzy heard it, and it got Ozzy-fied, and yeah, made it a lot better. And yeah, it's a great song. Again, yeah, like, reminds me a little bit of Breaking All the Rules. So it was quite kind of that similar kind of pace. Not super heavy, but still got a great riff that goes through it. And melodic, but yeah, still rocks hard. Cool music video for that song as well. So that was number 7, and then number 6 also from this album. And it's just like No Rest for the Wicked. It was the opening track. The opening track on this one as well. That's one of my. It's going to make my top 10, and that is the Ultimate Sin. I love the way the drums kick off at the start there. Great drums at the start, and then the riff comes in. Brilliant song. Probably a bit of an underrated album, I think. I know perhaps not one of Ozzy's favourite albums, but there's some quality tracks on this one. Alright, so 2 from that album, 2 from No Rest from the Wicked, and 1 from Down to Earth. So we've done 5, because that was number 6. Now we're going to go to number 5, and it's J.K. Lee again on guitar, but this one's from Bark at the Moon, and I'm going to go with the title track, Bark at the Moon, for number 5. So this is the first album to feature J.K. Lee, of course, and the opening track on the album, great song. It was one of the singles, first singles from the album, and yeah, awesome intro to the album. And number 4 is going to be Rock and Roll Rebel, another great riff from J.K. Lee, kick-ass song. I love that song, so that's going to be my number 4. Alright, so if you keep count, that's 4 Aussie songs that feature J.K. Lee. We've had 3 for Zakk Wylde. Let's see who's going to be for the final 3. So last 3 songs for my Aussie top 10 songs. And they're all going to come from Blizzard of Oz, believe it or not. So Blizzard of Oz, the last 3 songs, my top 10 Aussie songs. I'll put that number 3. The opening track, I Don't Know. What an introduction for the album. With Randy Rhoads now on guitar for this album, and just sounded like no other guitar player at the time, maybe apart from Eddie Van Halen. Just incredible tone, just amazing riff, and yeah, that is an amazing song. So I Don't Know, number 3. Number 2 is the song that comes next, another incredible song. I could just imagine, I didn't hear this until I'd actually heard No Rest for the Wicked, and I'd heard some of the other Aussie albums before I got to this. So, I wasn't like one of those people who, when this came out in 1980, would have heard this, and you would have just been like, oh my gosh, what an amazing guitarist. Ozzy sounds incredible. What a song. I guess I knew what to expect to some degree, but yeah, still unbelievable songs on this album. So I Don't Know was number 3. Number 2, Crazy Train, and then my last song for the top 10, also from this album, Suicide Solution. I love the way that it just, Randy kicks it off with a great riff at the start. Yeah, fantastic. So Suicide Solution is the last song on my top 10. So there we go. That was my top 10. I've created a Spotify playlist of my Aussie top 10. I'll put it in the description there, so you can click on that if you want to play it. I've just been playing it tonight, and every song is just so awesome, so great, man. I've been really enjoying that. So like I said, there's so many great Aussie songs. I could have done a top 20 and still be talking about what great songs they all are. So consistent. All of his albums are really good. I plan on doing a ranking the albums when the new album comes out. Will the new album make my sort of top 10? I hope it will, but that won't be easy, because like I said, a lot of his albums are really good and very consistent band. So I'm just hoping it's going to be a little bit better than the last one. All right, I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll catch you later. All right, see ya.